Hello, everybody. Welcome to the smoke sesh of smoke seshes. Welcome to highly motivated, highly enthusiastic, highly ready to take on the week, highly energetic, and a true, authentic energetic that I bring to the week ahead of me. It's a Sunday smoke sesh. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, one and all. And today, on the Smoke Sesh, we're going to be talking about a few things that happened this weekend. We're going to have to talk about the fight that happened between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, influencer-based boxing matches. Before we get too deep into all of it, I'm going to mention that I am highly disappointed in not necessarily the result of the fight, but the fight itself. Not the pumping up or the media hype around it, but really instead I'm disappointed in the scripted nature that the fight took on. It felt scripted. I saw many times. Now, all the other fighters leading up to the main event did amazing. All of the other fighters fought like they were real people, fought like they were trying to win something. And the main event, very different. So we're gonna chit chat about that a little bit tonight. Maybe later we're going to get into some more serious topics. Serious, I mean we're gonna talk I love to talk about time. You know, my conspiracy theory, my deep thought question of the day always comes back to our linear understanding of time and the idea that we might be in a time loop. So we might be living within a loop of time that's happening. I know it's deep, it's crazy, it's wild, and maybe we're going to chit chat a little bit about it tonight, and maybe we won't. Who cares? That's what it's all about. Before I get too deep, before I begin to chit chat about a little bit of everything, and trust me, I have a lot to talk about tonight. Not just time. You know, let me skip ahead a little bit. I think, again, I was telling you about the notes about the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. I'm sure everybody's already heard about it. I'm just gonna say it now. I feel the fight was a fix. I feel he threw the fight, Mike Tyson. You could see many times throughout the fight, he was there. He had the energy, he had the power, and he would start to come in and he would stop himself, pull back. I think all the biting on his glove that he was doing was him holding himself back from whooping Jake Paul's ass. Because many times he would just tap him and Jake Paul, that's it, had lost his balance, was ready to go down. And he pulled himself back. So really, I'm before we get into a heavy conversation about Mike Tyson, I do need to mention that I did not already have a very high opinion of him. I mean, this is an individual that has had quite a torrid past. He's not a savvy businessman because he took on this fight, even though he has ailing health issues. Mike Tyson took on this fight for money, took it on for money. I mean, obviously, if it wasn't about money, he would have knocked Jake Paul out in the first round. And he had the ability. He was built and ready. I don't care how old the guy is. He could be 80 years old. He's going to fuck up Jake Paul. That's just how it is. You know, I just think as far as the matching of the game, I think money spoke so heavily. And, you know, I guess money is controlling the direction of not just influencer-led sports matches, but money is really directing or controlling the direction of the sport. Not just boxing, but of many different things that we're getting into competitive sports. Money always has played a backseat. Money's always been very important. Okay, before we get too far, let me light up this pitted cherry. Pitted cherry, sitting at like 23%. Not very sticky. When I was rolling it together, it was a little dry. But again, sometimes that happens here in Florida. here in Florida, the medical program has a lot of stipulations on dispensaries and makes them go through hoops in order to have their flower by the state standard. And so a lot of dispensaries will put their bud, their flower, through what's called rollers. The rollers are a tray that automatically trim the bud and knock off all the trichomes, all the juicy crystals. And sometimes we'll also hit them with ultraviolet lighting, which kills off germs and bacteria and mold or fungi or anything that might be hiding in the bud. But when you hand trim your bud, and that means you're looking at every single bud, you're looking at, what's going on with it, and you can really keep an eye. Oh, you see, I dropped it. Dropped my joint. You can keep an eye on the bud. When it's organic, you don't have to flush anything out. There are so many standards that Florida should be taking, and they don't. So bud I'm smoking tonight is not organic, has not been hand trimmed. It's a budget bud that I picked up. I picked up some budget bud. I got some gastropop, got some pitted cherry. I've got some really nice nectar, batter nectar. I've got a little bit of live rosin and full melt over here. Very exciting. So we're gonna have a fun chit chat. Let me get this sparkied, because look, I'll talk forever. And this is just a smoke sesh. This is just an opportunity for all of us to get together and share some time. You don't even have to smoke. You don't have to use cannabis. We're just here sharing time as community and talking about the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight just a little bit. I'm not going to talk about it much more. It upsets me. I think more out of anything, Mike Tyson showed when he bit off the ear, or he bit off a chunk of the ear of Evander Holyfield, how he showed no respect for boxing. And in so many different situations, Mike Tyson has shown no respect for boxing, no respect for the sport and the hard work people put into it. But then I can say the same for Jake Paul. Jake Paul has done the opposite of showing respect. I mean, look, Muhammad Ali would go and Cassius Clay. Muhammad Ali would go and push his opponents. He wanted to get a reaction. He wanted to get them angry. But he would do it in such a theatrical, staged, fun kind of way that it was never for ill-gotten ways. But Jake Paul, rude, disrespectful, just really, really pushing the boundaries of professional boxing and the respect that goes into it for these fighters. So I don't think he showed any of that. I think this fight was definitely scripted. There are talks that there is a script out there that this fight had followed to a T. That would be very disappointing. Okay, no more chit chat out of me. Let me sparky. Pitted cherry. I can already smell hints of citrus. And again, thank you for joining me today. Thank you everybody for coming here today for our smoke sesh, our Sunday get together. It is Sunday. I'm pretty sure it's Sunday. Our end of the week, beginning of the week, revitalization. And I'll tell you, before the show, I was exhausted. And to be totally honest right now, all right, so before the show, I'd say an hour, maybe 2 hours before the show, an hour. I'm sitting there in a chair. I'm drained emotionally. I'm drained physically. There is so much going on right now in the cannabis industry and even in my own world. Because right now, this month we're approaching Thanksgiving in like a week, 2 weeks. Then we have Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, the holidays, gift-giving times, and then New Year's. So all of that is rushing at me right now. And then this whole weekend was I call chock-a-block. Chock-a-block is when you don't have a moment to breathe. So that's how everything's been for me. From Friday to Saturday to now Sunday, I haven't stopped being busy. I haven't stopped running around in circles. So an hour before the show, I was exhausted, like emotionally and physically exhausted. And for a moment, I started going inward. I started pulling mentally and physically inward. I was just not, I didn't have the energy, didn't have the motivation, even for tonight's show. Sitting in a chair, I was like, look, I can't, I don't think I can, I mean, I've got plenty of things to talk about. I've got a ton to talk about tonight. I'm excited with all the things I have to talk about. You know, this is not bad. It's got a really weird stink to it. Like it's pitted cherry. So it's got to be the cherry. It's got to be that unusual terpene that takes on that cherry flavor. Ooh, I could taste that in the background. And you know, one of the things, okay, so just to let you know, so an hour before the show, I wasn't feeling it. I have what's called emergency mushrooms. In case my mood is terribly shit, and it never really is, but in case my mood is complete shit, and I've got no energy, I've got nothing in the tank, I have nothing to pull me out of the rut that I can emotionally fall into like this. I mean, I can have a perfect day. I can have a perfect day with everything perfect going on all around me all the time. And then all of a sudden, in that moment of silence, at the end of a day, at the completion of a day, at the conquering of a day, it's not about not completing things. I can complete things and still feel like a failure. You know, the day can come to an end, and I can have done everything on the list. I could have completed, achieved, overachieved, done bigger and done better. But then there's that one moment of silence, that one moment of thought, inner thought, like where I'm not thinking and I'm not speaking and nothing is going on, which is rare, but it happens at total exhaustion level. So today I was at total exhaustion level, and I'm sitting there, my thoughts are racing in a terrible place. I'm just bringing myself darker, and I wasn't depressed. I was non-emotional, just sitting there, drained of everything, emotion, physicality, thoughts, and just blah. But in the blah, I felt like I was falling deep into some kind of mental darkness. Okay. So I sat there and I thought about it. And I said, okay, I've got to pull myself out of this. I have to realize that I can see and be beyond the feeling that I'm getting. You know, I realized that I was talking to myself, and I said, Oren, you can pull yourself out of this shit. You can pull yourself out of this mood. And I did. I sort of felt like I was, but I couldn't climb right out of it. It was the energy wasn't there. The mood wasn't there. I almost thought I wasn't going to do the show today. So I have emergency mushrooms. I microdosed a little bit before the show, about 45 minutes ago. So all honesty, all authenticity here on the show, we had the microdose with the emergency mushrooms, and they were albino cookies and cream. I think that's what the package said, but it came from somebody trusted, so I trust it, and I can feel it's working really hard to fight my mood. It's working. The mushrooms are working very hard right now, very, very hard to pull me out of any kind of depression, to pull me out of any kind of dark cloud that I feel like is enveloping me right now. And there should be no reason for a dark cloud, none whatsoever, because the day was delicious. The day yesterday, delicious, fantastic days and fantastic food. Angie made this, it was done with cognac and cabbage and this cream of just ambrosia deliciousness going on. I can't even remember. The dish will bounce to me in a moment, but it was a very fancy dish that she made. Delicious. delicious. Everything about the day was great. I relaxed, I worked, I did this, I did that. Everything was accomplished, but I couldn't fight the dark cloud. So I took the emergency mushrooms, and they're working very hard to keep me out of a dark place. Not that I'm in a dark place. I'm in a I don't give a shit place. I'm in a because I guess because of the busyness and the chaos and the energy of the week leading up to this point, now it's like, what do I do? What do I do? It's been such a chaotic, energetic, action-packed week that what do I do now? End of the week. How do I relax? How do I let go? For me, that's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing for me to relax. How do I relax? How do I let go? How do I let go of the chaos, the energy, everything that builds up to the end of the week? How do you just let go? This helps. I mean, it doesn't do everything. This helps. And then this helps. And then this helps a little bit. And then if that doesn't do the trick, edibles are great. No, it's not that. I don't look to cannabis to help. Cannabis helps me think. Helps me think back. Did I make the right choices? Did I do the right things? It helps me judge things a little calmer. Helps me assimilate the situation instead of rushing to make a decision or rushing with an emotional action. This helps stave off that emotional quick reaction and lets me think about it a little bit. This is burning with a very small cherry, which is actually good though, because the smaller the cherry, the less heat. You know, it's not burning at such a high heat. And that's good because the higher the heat, the more the cannabinoids are burning off, the more you're going to be losing from the joint. And that's losing in flavor, that's losing in aroma and terpene, and even in entourage. You know, tonight I did, one of the things I actually want to talk about a little bit, we'll get into it later, like kindness. I'm always talking about you don't have to be nice to be kind. You don't have to be walked on to be kind. You don't have to be a pushover to be kind. You don't have to give up your energy. You don't have to give up your psyche. You don't have to give up your personality. You don't have to give up anything about yourself to be kind. And that was one of the things I wanted to chit chat. But I also, just mentioning it while I'm smoking the joint, I put out an article not too long ago. You know, have you ever mixed anything into your joint? And when I say that, have you ever mixed in sage? Or have you ever put any blue lotus or damania? There are so many different beautiful organic herbs that we can put into our cannabis to enhance not just its flavor and its aroma, but how it works and reacts with the body. Peppermint in the morning at a joint, you know, spearmint. Wow. You know, some dried spearmint in the joint. It opens up pathways, opens up the lungs, opens up your blood vessels. Same with mullein. Mullein is great. Definitely if you have any congestion, you can smoke the mullein leaves and it helps relieve congestion that might be sitting in your chest. Amazing how we can mix different things in to get such amazing different reactions. So that was one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight. See, I told you there's a lot of shit to talk about. There's a lot of different things to be about. But I think the most important one is us just being here. The most important one is the authenticity of just being here. Not having anything to talk about. Not having any expectations. That's the biggest thing. We expect so much out of everything and everybody and every situation. We show up already expecting certain things. We're already expecting certain things to go in a certain direction or happen in a certain way. But what happens when you drop all expectations? What happens when you let go? You let go of the thoughts of how you think of people, how you think of a situation, and just show up and just be there. I like to people watch. I love to show up places, not thinking anything, not expecting anything. No matter what that place or the pretentious nature that a place may have, or the history or stories I might have heard about a place, I drop all of that. There were nightclubs that I used to DJ at. And before getting there, people were like, oh my God, this is an iconic place. And so many people are going to show up. And it's going to be an amazing, legendary party because everything that happens at this place, everybody talks about. They don't. They only talk about occasional parties and things that happen here and there. But that's how people think. So instead of approaching a gig like that with expectations, like it's going to be the best thing ever, I approach it as nothing. I just show up. I show up with my fresh vibe. I show up with my two hands and my brain and my body and my action and energy and ability to transform a room. When I used to DJ, I would show up and I already showed up knowing that I was going to kill it. I already showed up knowing that I could read that crowd. I could change the music. I could have that party popping all night long. And the energy through the roof. I mean, truly setting the roof on fire. I already knew it though. I walked in knowing it. I never doubted it. I never thought, was I good enough? Will I be good enough? No, I didn't care. I would just walk in with that lackadaisical confidence because I let go of all assumption. The only expectation I would have would be none. I already accomplished it. I already did it. I already made it. I think that was my trick. It wasn't that I showed up needing to accomplish something. Showing up, I accomplished. Getting that great gig, I accomplished. I think bringing the energy and the confidence to a place, you've already accomplished more than you'll ever know. So that's why I guess I didn't show up with expectation, because you never know how the night's going to go. And especially DJing, it can go amazing. I mean, amazing. It could be the most amazing show ever. Greatest night ever. And then it could be the worst. And you're not feeling the crowd. You're not reading them properly. And you're just playing the wrong stuff, the wrong beats. And it's just not vibing. I had a lot of nights like that. I had a lot of nights where the music just wasn't working. Me reading the crowd wasn't working. And maybe those are the nights I expected too much. Those are the nights that I had all this pressure on me. For what? For what? What pressure is any different from any night? So I think the nights that I didn't think about it and just played and just did and just worked, they were amazing nights, amazing music, legendary. And then the nights you thought about it and you worked so hard to make something work and it didn't happen. It's kind of interesting, kind of like the dualistic nature of our reality. When you push so hard for something, you never get it. The universe fights against you. When you let go and let things happen, the whole world, the whole universe opens up before you. When you manifest, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but there's a reason, and it brings it all together. When you manifest, you are opening your chakra, your third eye, to the universe, to the, I don't know even what to call it. I'm sitting here, I'm searching for words. You're opening yourself up to a pathway, to a frequency that allows you to receive love. gifts from, I wouldn't even say the universe, gifts from the Akashic record, gifts from humanity, from frequency, from, okay, here's maybe a better way for me to describe it. I manifest. I put it up. See, I start talking about it and a weird fly comes out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Oh, almost got you. Okay. So when I manifest, I'm putting frequency and energy out there. I am not asking because I don't need and I don't want anything. I don't know where the fly is. I'm going to leave him alone. So I don't need anything. I don't want anything. But when I'm manifesting, I am putting it out there in the universe. I am living in my subconscious as though I already own whatever it is I desire. Or I am living through my consciousness the actions of what I believe. And that's what comes to me in manifestation. You believe it and it comes to you. You believe it, you see it, you live it as though it's happening, and it comes to you. But by doing this, you don't just get what you ask for. You don't get what you don't just get what you believe in. You get more. You get more. You get so many things coming your direction, but you have to see it. You have to be ready for it. You have to be open to it. And manifestation opens you to the gifts of the universe. There you go. I think that's a better way of understanding it. Because once I started asking for things that I believed in, not that I need and not that I want, because if you need it and you want it, the universe does not give it to you. If you fight for it, the universe fights against you. But if you believe it as such, you believe it, you see it, you live it as such, and you ask for what you believe. You ask for what you can subconsciously live. And then you get it. But then you get more. You get more opportunity. You get more than what you asked for. You can't ask the universe for an amount of money because the universe doesn't know amount. It doesn't know how much. I mean, you could say how much in your belief, in your ask of living it out. You can give an exact amount that supposedly would make you happy. But the universe feels the energy of you. Starting to sweat a little bit. I think maybe the mushrooms are kicking in. The universe feels what you want, what you need, but like truly. And those are the things that you believe. Those are the things that you see already happening. Because if you see them happening in your subconscious mind feels that's real. If you feel it's real, the subconscious mind feels it's real. So it has to make it real. Please hear what I just said. If you subconsciously live it and you believe it as so does your subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind has to make the conscious reality. It has to bring them together. It has to adjust for this. The mind believes it and the mind sees it and the mind is already living it. So the conscious world must live it as well. And it brings that world to that reality. That simple. I know it doesn't seem that simple, but it is. Still smoking on this pitted cherry. It is very terpy. But it's a weird terp. It's a weird taste. Like a stink bug. Not bad though. I mean, like, all right, you know when like a stink bug goes off and you can almost taste it in your mouth? That, but with the terpene. But not in a way where it's like, I'm smoking a stink bug. No. Pitted cherry is actually not bad. I think it's like 23%, something like that. Not bad, but not overly wow. Just terpy. The bud itself was a little dry. And that could have been maybe how I was storing it, or I left the container open. Who knows? I'm going to take the blame. Because the bud itself is not terrible. It's a good, decent. I'm smoking some economy bud right now. Just letting you know. But for economy bud, this is some economy wow. Very exciting. Not the most fantastic thing, but what I can afford. Okay. What was I rambling about? I don't think it even matters. Kindness, the universe, everything all combined. Honestly, I don't even know what I was talking about now. Completely in La La Land. That is fantastic. Ooh, thank you for joining me, by the way, everyone. I appreciate you all coming. And this is Sunday. This is our opportunity as a community coming together just to chit chat a little bit, to get ready for the week ahead of us. Look, quickly, don't put pressure on Monday. Don't look at Monday and say, oh, it's Monday. I think it's how you approach. It's how you come to it. It's how you walk into it. If you own Monday, then you own it. You walk into a Monday and you're like, hey, it's Monday. Let's conquer it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Love it. Look, the beginning of the week is Sunday. And it's the end of the week as well. So you're at the beginning, you're at the end. You are at a crossroad of energy and fantasticness. And that's what Sunday is. Sunday is a crossroad of fantasticness. I love that. I don't know if I told you guys, before the show, I was out of it. Emotionally, physically done. Sitting in my, it's like a magical couch, not necessarily comfortable, but not uncomfortable. But then at the same time, it pulls you in, it draws you in, you sit in it, and you're uncomfortably sitting there, but then you'll fall asleep. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what that is, but I did that. I got home, and very rarely do I ever fall asleep during the day. It doesn't happen. So I think when that does happen to me, I feel like something's wrong. But what it is my body's letting go. My mind, my body, everything just kind of lets go. And it puts me in a weird place when I wake up. So I woke up and I was out of it. No energy, walking around like a zombie. So if you're just jumping on, I took my emergency mushroom pack, which is a small little pack of, it was chocolate actually. Delicious, very nice, albino, something. And, but I microdosed. I took a very small amount. And in that small amount, 45 minutes later, I felt giddy. I felt a little better. I felt like the mushrooms were working very hard to stabilize me or to pull me out of a funk. And so as the mushrooms worked hard to pull me out of a funk, I tell you, I felt nothing. I wasn't in a funk. I felt emotionless. I felt drained, hoping the mushrooms would give me back some spark of creativity for the day. So then the show starts tonight, 8 o'clock, highly motivated, and welcome again, everyone. And as I sit here, start to sweat a little bit, I can tell they're kicking in just a little bit more, which is okay, which is fine. That's why I also like cannabis. Cannabis is a great intermediary. You know, instead of having a overly powerful transition, when like you take mushrooms, you have an overly powerful transition from one step to the next. Like, ooh, my mushrooms, you know, I'm feeling that. So instead of that powerful move, cannabis kind of acts as a middle buffer and I believe smooths things out so that there's no shocking transition of, ooh, what just happened to me? Sometimes that can happen. And if you're curious what I'm rambling about, I'm too. I'm curious as well. But this show, again, I was talking earlier about no expectations and entering into things with no expectations. And then I got onto a chit chat about manifestation. So that's That's what I was talking about earlier. See, it comes back to me eventually. But we were talking about manifestation. We were talking about creating that frequency and that vibe in your life so that you are open for more. So I approach everybody the same I would approach anybody. I don't see anybody in the sense I see everyone, but I don't see any judgment. I don't look at a person and judge. I don't look at a person and see a past or a future. I don't see emotional boundaries. I don't let tattoos or piercings or the energy that they portray influence me in any way. Because we are all people that need a hug. We are all people that need understanding. We are all people that need love, trust, and guidance. We are all the same. All of us. Every single one of us. There's no difference in us. The confidence that I push out, sometimes, many moons ago, it was faked. A long time ago, I was not authentic about my confidence. My confidence, I don't believe, was even authentic until maybe the last 10, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, maybe, my confidence became more authentic. But before that point, it was never authentic. I had to fake it a little bit. I had to pull from a place of knowing that nobody's going to judge me long term. Nobody's going to remember shit long term. Nobody is looking at you and thinking anything specifically longer than 15 seconds. You pass someone on the street, they see you and think of you for 10 to 15 seconds, and then you're gone out of their mind. Nobody cares. I mean, I hate to say it that way. I mean, I care as a whole for everybody. But individually, I couldn't pick anybody out right now and say I care for everybody. At the now. When I'm there, when I can help, when I'm in the middle of something. In the past, I can't help you. In the future, maybe, I don't know, but we won't know until the now. So I approach everybody right now, and I care for them right now. All of you, anywhere that you are, I am sending love and emotion your way if that helps you in any possible avenue. But I try not to carry too much with me. I let go of so much that I can try to appreciate here and now. The everything that we deal with, not the past, because that's hard to deal with that, because it's already gone. And then the future. And so, okay, should we get deep? Should I just jump into deepness 38 minutes into the show? I might. I was in a whole deep mode earlier today. I was thinking about, I was actually making a cannabis tea earlier. And I was looking at the leaves, some of the dried leaves. I'm like, ooh, you know what, these would be nice. Let me smoke some of them. And I did. So I made a tea and I smoked some of the leaves with the cannabis. And I have to tell you, that was a bit of a trip. It was soothing and relaxing and opened up my chest congestion. That's why I was talking about it a little bit earlier in the show. It was fresh on my mind. But that was something that I loved, and it was enjoyable. So these are going to be new things we're going to talk about soon. Cannabis tea, cannabis additives to your rolls. A moment ago we were talking kind of about, I was chit-chatting or blurbering about time. So the deeper stuff that I want to talk about is, are we living in a time loop? I told you, we get into something deep on Highly Motivated. You know, time is a human construct, and we don't really understand how it behaves. We have made time as humans, as earthlings, because before us, there was no construct of time. There was no Father Time coming down and saying, hey, 12 hours in a day, just go ahead and follow, you'll figure it out. But no, it wasn't that. We created time to understand and control. Even as early as Stonehenge, they were using it in parts to farm and plant at different cycles and at different seasons. So time is an amazing thing. Time is at your control. I believe you have power. I believe you have an energy within you. And I'm going to call it time. I'm going to call it your control of time, your understanding of time. Remember, I talk about time as a river. You can speed up, you can slow down, you can stop it. With enough power, with enough energy, with enough understanding, time can be controlled. So why would it be so crazy to think that we are in some sort of loop of understanding, loop of learning? Time. We are in some kind of, maybe, look, deja vu. Maybe is that a glitch, or is that evidence of reoccurring timelines that are falling back and forth? You know, there are theories from science and philosophy and metaphysics right now are challenging our perception of time. And that's where we get into, okay, so there's one guy, Professor John Wheeler, and he had a theory called participatory universe, where, all right, well, John Wheeler is a renowned physicist, and he suggests that the universe may exist in a participatory state, influenced by its observers. So, like I'm always telling you, you are a quantum computer. You are the universe. You are the creator. You are the eye. You are the watcher. Manifestation is so much easier when you believe that you are the one creating everything. Everything. And you are sharing that universe with others around you. So John Wheeler believes that we are all participating together to create this physical realm that we're living in. We, as a unified billions and billions of energetic souls, came together to create a physical manifestation of the universe. Not even getting into all the similarities of electrical influences in and the shapes of our brains, and the electrical shape of our brain and the electrical shape of the universe, and how similar those two might be. We are the universe. We are participating together. And that's what Professor John Wheeler would say. Time, so he also said time might not move forward, but rather forms loops connected to how we observe reality. We're participating in creating and recreating the universe moment by moment. That's all from Professor. So, and I believe that very strongly, that our energetic souls came together even before the multiple Big Bangs. But we came together before the Big Bang. All of us, all of our energy. And the one ball of energy that we came together as, we wanted to be more. We needed more. We needed physical. We needed physical learning, physical interaction, physical understanding. We needed knowledge. And we needed to create that knowledge. So we exploded in God particle. I don't know. I know I made that sound terrible. I'm sorry. But in that, we exploded in energy, creating the universe that we see now. And this may have happened many times. Maybe we didn't get it right the first time, and that's why there are further galaxies and particles here and particles there. Maybe we tried many times and we kept screwing up until boom, one time it happened. And boom, one time is all it takes. That was the magic. So I don't know. So John Wheeler's works hints that the phenomena like deja vu may reflect overlapping loops in time. And deja vu as a memory of the future experienced because of a loop type multiversal structure that's been created even by ourselves. I told you, deep. Do you know why I go deep? I'll tell you. All right, listen. I'll tell you why I go deep. I'll tell you why I want to even go deep. proving to you you're the creator, proving to you that you're the magic, proving to you in so many different ways that the power you seek is you. The energy you seek is you. That enthusiasm for life, it's already inside of you. You have to let it go. You have to let it go by being authentic. And authentic means stop wearing a mask for your boss and stop wearing a mask for your relationship or emotionalities. Stop wearing a mask for your friends. Stop wearing a mask for laws and policies and politics. I don't know how to call any of that shit. All the hundreds of people that you put on a different mask for, you become a different person. You become a different personality. And you change. So the authenticity, when you just let go, you stop caring what people think of you and you start living your life. You stop caring about the things that they say because they don't say anything. And you stop caring about the things that they think because they don't think anything. Instead, it's you. You're the one that holds you back. You're the one who thinks all those thoughts. You are the one. So when you stop thinking that they are thinking it, and when you stop acting as though they're acting that way, and you start to see the truth, not just in yourself, but in the people around you, in the world around you, in the environment around you, man, energy changes. The world changes. You change. I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about, but all that sounded really good. Before I get too deep, and I've already gotten deep, 46 minutes in, and I go before I get too deep, and I've already been talking about time loops. I've already been talking about, maybe past lives and loops of Dr. John Wheeler's work. And when you look into different possibilities of time and how we've created it and how we continue to adjust our understanding so that time makes sense, you drop all that out and it makes more sense. You stop looking at time as a construct and it makes more sense. Part of my journey is to know my power. Part of my journey is to know my limits. Part of my journey is to push those limits so far sometimes mentally, physically, that I know my capabilities and I know what I can go to. I know where I can push. You know the energy that you hide inside. You know the power that you actually have. But you doubt yourself. You bring chaos into your own life by questioning and doubting yourself. When you stop doubting yourself, you stop questioning yourself, then the authentic self gets to live. I don't care what anybody thinks. And in that, I am able to live without judgment. I am able to live free to make the right decisions with the right energy without anything holding me back. Not time, not judgment, not myself. That was the big one. When I stopped holding me back. And I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about again. I'm telling you, I know what I was talking about, but then why am I talking about me not holding me back all of a sudden? Very confusing. See, I'm on a constant journey. And this show even helps me. Me talking to myself on this show helps me. In some way, I hear it. I hear it now when I'm talking, and then I'll hear it later. I'll be listening going, wow, you were high. Oh, you were so high. Holy shit. But you made sense. But you're high. But you made a lot of sense. But in that, it gives me a moment to think and hear it from a different perspective. Even from myself, it can be a different perspective, or it can be a different way of hearing it. I ask myself for the right solution. Like, hey, is this the right way to go? What do you think? Or what do you think? It's like, of course, what am I going to think? I'm going to give the answer that I already know, but not always. I'm my own devil's advocate. I will sit there and go, you know something. I start picking it apart. Like, it's not such a great idea. But you need that. You need to be your own judgment. You need to question yourself. If you think it's an amazing idea, be your own devil's advocate. Pick it apart. See what's happening. And if it's still something great, then 100% go for it. I don't know what's going on. I got to tell you, there's music playing in the background, if you can hear it. And it's really kind of groovy. Every so often I hear it. Every so often I'll catch it. But like, okay, yeah. Again, we're trying something different. Usually on our smoke sesh, it's silent, just me talking. And I realize maybe with the music, we're gonna make it a little more exciting. We're gonna bring a whole different kind of lo-fi vibe to the highly motivated podcast. I'm talking along with the music now. See, that's what mushrooms help you do. They help you feel the music differently. I think they help you feel emotion differently. You know, they open you up and they put it all on the table. Gives you the opportunity to look at yourself, to laugh at yourself, and to enjoy it. Maybe just to laugh again. That's an important thing. We need that. We need laughing. Okay, well, then what am I talking about? I'm rambling a lot tonight. Welcome everyone, Sunday Smoke Sesh. Oren rambles a lot. But you know, I don't care. The energy and the mood that I have right now, I'm so much happier. I wasn't unhappy earlier. I was just blah. I wasn't unhappy. I was emotionally and physically drained. And I hate that because I want my body still inside. There was an energy that's like, no, I'm not done. Don't let me be done. Don't let me be done. Don't stop it. I can't. No. And it's like pulling out of me or making me come back to life. And I couldn't. I had nothing left in me today. I had nothing left. So again, I went to the emergency mushrooms, had a micro dose of the chocolate, the albino. And 45 minutes later, I started giggling. And I realized that the mushrooms were working so hard. And I was working against them. Or whatever my psyche was at the time was working against it. Now, as a community, talking together, I feel better. I think that's needed because it's a different perspective. Even though nobody else is talking, even though I'm the only one talking, I still feel the energy of the community. I still feel the energy of the smoke and all of us getting together. And in that, since I've gone on quite a lot about much ado about nothing, I'm going to go back and talk about time in a little while, maybe some John Wheeler's work, the cycle of time in physics, some mathematical shit. But before we get there, a little more smoky tokey. So I had the joint of the pitted cherry. It was okay. It had a weird stinky winky to it in the background, like almost like a stink bug, but like a pleasant stink bug. I mean, if there could be a pleasant stink bug, it was a pleasant stink. When I smoke it again, maybe, I mean, it was very cost effective. But the terpene that it had, I'm gonna have to look at that terpene. It's one of those things that you smoke and then you're like, oh, that's so stinky. But then you think about it later and you're like, I want to smoke that again. Because as it develops, as it opens up into different things, it's delicious. Right now, we're going to smoke some of the gastropop. There we go. Hybridly, probably indica. The pitted cherry was an indica, but I don't think it was indicaing me out. And this one's a hybrid leaning indica, but we'll see. We'll see how it works. Let me just take a quick puffy puff. We have other things to talk about. Okay. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday. And for those of you watching in for example, Poland, happy Monday, because you're already in a Monday if you're in Poland. Just because we had a lot of people watching from Poland the last few shows. I think it was the Polish independence on 11/11, which was also a very powerful, very wild manifestation kind of day. Brought crazy energy, that did. The gastropop. That's fuel and cheese. That's the first things that I'm getting out of this. It's gassy. It is gassy. Woo! It's like a gassy cheese. I like it. First hit's right there. From a pipe, usually that first hit's going to be everything. The second one, I've got to hit a spot that I didn't hit. I like when you exhale and you can actually feel a little bit just right there. Just, it tickles. Not just the senses, but your nerves, your energy. You can feel like it's attaching to your vibe. And it's kind of like, okay, where are we going? We going here? We going there? It dissipates quickly. There you go. Moving on. Not bad. Gastropop. Did not mind that at all. So, okay, we're talking about time. So now, quickly want to mention Einstein's theory of relativity allows for the possibility of closed time loops, time curves, where time folds back on in itself. So Einstein, even in his speculations, even in his theories of relativity, it allows for a time loop. Remember earlier in the show I mentioned, are we in a time loop? So certain conditions in the universe cause time to loop indefinitely. Now, does this mean, what exactly does that mean? And are we reliving this time over and over and over again, or within a series? So we get to maybe the end of the loop and it resets and we have to live everything all over again. We get to the end of the loop and it resets and we have to, like a Groundhog Day. But in the millions of years that it takes for it to reset, we don't know. We don't realize the loop that's going on. Entropy, arrow of time. Traditional physics say entropy increases, pushing time forward. But could entropy reset, creating cycles of time rather than what we would understand things to be? All right, so the theory of entropy, where the universe is just expanding and expanding and expanding, and it's forever expanding. Are we in a time loop? Because does it expand to a point, to the end of the loop, and it resets? Big bang all over again. And it resets, big bang. But it leaves history. It leaves markings. It shows where it's shown that it's had 12 million big bangs, 12 million resets, 12 million reliving the loop that we're in, because time can be infinite. It creates cycles because we're not living in straight lines. There are universes and realities living all around us. Why am I doing this? So the traditional universe being round. Well, yes, and then there's other universes round on top of it, below it, next to it, on the side, curved in. We can have universes and realities smashed right in on us and we wouldn't even know. Because of I guess because of the way it loops, because of the way we understand and see it, we don't see other realities. We're not open to because we just can't see it. It's not within our magical realm. I don't even know how to describe it right now. My brain is kind of excited and it's in many different places. When we start talking about time and we start talking about the reset and in the living of everything that we've done over and over again, there are signs in the history that it's happened, that time has reset somehow, that big bangs have happened many times, and history is not always as it seems. Even on our own planet Earth, there are things deep within the chunks of the Earth, in the history of the Earth, that show civilization had lived many, many, many millions of years ago. That to me is wild. So is it wild because it happened so far ago? Is it wild because we have forgotten time before our written history? and that we believe everything that we are told. We believe the books that they give us, the history and the time that we follow. We believe it. We follow it. So could it be so unbelievable that there was history and time before us? I forget the name of the it's now on the tip of my tongue, but it was literally a civilization that Trattoria. I'm butchering it. I butcher everything like that, but in our modern day cities, they were there before us. They were building skyscrapers before you could even build skyscrapers. In Phoenicia, they had buildings so big, and it was written in the history that we don't see these buildings anymore because time takes them. Time gets rid of them and turns them into history and folklore. But they were real. Folklore, Indian civilizations, Indian villages, they only in stories and only in folklore they talked of this city that belonged to the blue god with multiple Vishna. I'm probably butcher. I apologize. I'm trying, but the blue god, whichever, the one with all the arms and the legs, had a lot going on. So, anyways, it was their city. So this was a fabled city, and they said, "Oh no, it did not exist. It was not really there." A couple of years ago, they found it. I'm drooling. Am I drooling? It doesn't matter. A couple of years ago, they found a city that was fabled to be fake. That to me is incredible. The unreal becomes real. Same with physics. Okay, so let's get back into it. So deja vu, strange familiarities, feeling like you've experienced something before. Is this proof of time repeating itself? I'm not sure. Dreams or premonitions that later become reality. Could these be echoes of a future event? Listen, I know you've felt it before. I know you've woken up from a dream and you've seen some crazy shit. Like you were like, oh my God, I don't know what the hell that was. I don't even know how to interpret it. And then in the near future, things come true. We saw it. Ange, I'm sure she'll hurt me for saying it, but many years ago when we were younger and our minds and our bodies were more fluid with Mother Earth and the energies of time and space and shit like that, we saw things differently. We felt energy. So one night we were in New Orleans. We were moving down to New Orleans to build a haunted history tour company. It was going to be amazing. It would be epic. I'm not going to give you all my details because I still might do it one day. So it was going to be doing tours of ghostly places, graveyards, bars, haunted places, great stories. And that's what a good ghost hunt is about, really, really good stories. So we were going to move down to Louisiana, and we were down there beforehand. We were moving some things in the storage. We were down there beforehand, getting things ready, and we were in a hotel. We had gone out earlier that day. We come back, of course, blah, 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 blah. We go to sleep. The kids are asleep. We're asleep. Me and Andrew are asleep. Then she wakes up and she's like, everything's flooded. Everything's flooded. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, look at the window. Look at the window. The water is coming in. The water is coming in uncontrollable. And I'm like, relax. Nothing is flooded. We're looking out the window and everything was calm. And we were pretty close to the water. And she's like, I'm telling you, I saw it. Like I saw it, like it's coming in so soon. I'm like, okay, let's breathe. Let's look at this realistically. So the next day, we were walking around. I think we went to a psychic, and the psychic gave some interesting information and saw some interesting thing in me or in Ange, and asked about what we saw about the flooding. And Angie's like, it was in my dream. I'm telling you. And then she gave the whole dream to this person. And this psychic on the side of the street looked at her like, okay, you've lost your mind. She goes, no, maybe you need to pack your shit up and just get to safety. And the pro like, okay, thank you. I've been here forever. I know what I'm doing. Thank you very much. So we left. We left our vacation. Not really vacation. We left our business setting up time period, packed up, got the kids, put everything back, and drove back to Texas. So I want to say it was on the drive back to Texas, and we knew there was a storm coming, or we knew there was weather, but we didn't know it was going to be bad. So on the drive back to Texas, the storm already started coming in. But I want to say by the time we got to Texas, we decided, oh, let's turn around and go back. So we got to Texas and we said, no, we need to turn around, go back and grab as much shit as we can, because we heard levees were breaking, or we heard water was coming down more than they were used to. There was flooding, and we're like, we need to go pick up some shit. We need to be down there. We need to be prepared. I cannot believe it. I'm looking at Ange and she's like, I'm telling you, I saw some shit. I feel like this could be it. I'm like, you just saw it like a few days ago. So I'm like, this is wild. So we're driving back and we're at a rest stop, and the hurricane's hitting, levees are breaking in areas where we had storage and lost everything. Whatever. Lives were more important. People were more important. So we stopped all our efforts in moving down to Louisiana. We stopped everything and turned around, came back to Texas, and found a place to live. Again, came back to Texas, rented a new place, and started over a little bit. That's what the hurricane did to us back then in New Orleans. Why was I talking about that? Energy. Oh, premonitions. Holy shit. Okay, premonitions. But that was Angie. Angie saw that shit. She was good. She saw a few other things as well. When your mind is open to it, not everything is false. When your mind is open to it, the universe tells you things. The universe tells you thing. Just one thing. Won't tell you anymore. Just the thing. Just the one thing. Just the one. But it tells you things. You just have to listen. You have to be ready for it. And we close ourselves up to information. We close ourselves up to knowledge, because we immediately tell ourselves it's not true, or it's false, or can't be real. I listen to conspiracies all the time. And instead of me saying, oh, it's fake immediately, I'm like, well, let's listen to it. Let's listen to the pros and cons of it. Let's hear if there could be merit. There could be truth, right? There could be a little bit of truth in, oh, wait, my phone's acting crazy. Here we go. There could be a little bit of truth in everything that you hear. So it's not all fake. It's not fake. It's not all fake. I don't know where that's coming from, but it's not. There's always a little bit of truth in the falsities of conspiracies. So that being said, I don't know why I'm talking about conspiracies. Okay, I guess deja vu. Dreams, premonitions, echoes of a future event. So I feel like Ange definitely saw a future event. Mandela effect, is that a collective memory of events that differ from current reality, hinting at overlapping timelines? Oh, that could be a time loop. Synchronicities and patterns. So why do certain patterns or events repeat in our lives constantly? And it feels like they go, like we've done it over and over, even in many different lives that we've lived throughout time, or our understanding of time. We've still repeated so many things. Let me see. Are these repetitions coincidence or signs of a looping system? See, I told you. Very deep shit. We're going to mix it in. Time's elasticity in extreme situations. Reports of time slowing down or speeding up during traumatic or heightened moments. Isn't that kind of strange? Could this be evidence that time is not fixed, but malleable? You could shape it. Time can be formed, and if it can be formed and shaped, it can be looped. I mean, stranger shit's happened, right? I don't know. I think in Eastern philosophy, Hinduism and Buddhism describe the cycle of death and rebirth. Could this be a form of time looping? Could it be showing it to you through like spirituality, through religion, through these Eastern, philosophies? Karma as a feedback loop. So what do we know? What we do now affects later versions of the timeline, future versions of the timeline are affected by our decisions, by our choices. Now, to me, that hints at a multi-reality, a multiverse. And every decision we make loops out another timeline or sends out another timeline. So we make a big decision in our life and boom, there it goes. You know, you get married, boom, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes. There's like 1,000 of them going in so many different directions and so many different possibilities. And all, though, within a harmonious balance that you could possibly even bounce from one timeline to the next, and most would never even notice. So that's why I'm big into energy and frequencies and universal flow. So time as a vibrational frequency that we're tuned into, that's time. Time travel. It's a vibrational frequency. So if we tune into the right frequency, we are tuning into another time, another space and time. That's why sometimes music takes us to a different place. That's why music can lift us, can make us feel as though we're in the 1940s, the year 2000. You know, I don't know, I'm just popping off years over here. You know, 1994, we're gonna, or 1999, sorry, Prince was amazing. Or the artist formerly known as Prince, however he wanted to be known, the man was magical at music. But I hear not the greatest of people necessarily, but magical with music. And music is a frequency that helps us travel in time. So time is a frequency. Time is a vibration. And if with enough energy, with enough force, we can create a strong enough vibrational frequency to travel back in time. That would be some wild stuff right there. See how deep we get? I'm highly motivated. An hour into the show, we are talking about time travel. An hour into the show, we are talking about some deep whatever. Okay. But I mean, could we, so if we are tuned into time and tuned into a frequency and a vibrational loop, if that's what we're tuned into, is that vibrational loop, could we break free of a loop by altering our energetic state of consciousness? Is that why? Okay, deep. You ready? You ready? Okay, here we go. They talk about the Matrix. They talk about seeing beyond who you are. And I talk about the simplicity and the authenticity of self. So we are in a loop. We're in a loop of learning until we know who the fuck we are. We're in a loop of understanding until we see past ourselves. We see past the individual. We see the group. We see the universe. We see people beyond just one individual. We see them all. We see the energy of people, the frequency of people. I don't know. What the fuck we're talking about? Oh, time, vibration. Wow, it's been a rough week. There's a lot in my brain. And even though I let go of everything and I'm not really thinking of anything, I'm thinking always. There's energy surrounding me, almost weighing me down sometimes, and I have to let it go. I have to stop thinking about so many different things. Anyways, I was talking about the Matrix, and I was talking about how maybe all of these movies and all of these things are trying to show us we can break free from the box of society. We can break free mentally. And a lot of it is where we put our state, our personal state of energy, our personal state of consciousness. And if we can change our state of consciousness, can we break that loop of reality, that box that we're all living in? So those are people who ascend. Those are people who move on. Those are yogis and people who meditate and who, I don't know. There's also people like me who get really, really high and sometimes see the fabric of space and time and go, ooh, what is that? I don't know. I think we're all able to go beyond. You know, I think we're all able to travel to that other level of consciousness, to break that loop that we are in, that time loop that we're in. We're all capable of breaking that loop by changing how we see it, how we see ourselves, by learning our energy, our own energy, by learning our own power, our own capability. In that, I mean, so, okay, living in a time loop, what does it mean? So empowerment or entrapment. If we're in a loop, are we doomed to repeat the same patterns? Or can we learn and grow with each cycle? And that's it. Are we learning and growing? Are we learning until we get to a point that we are mentally able to break free from that loop of time and consciously become that authentic individual that can learn, that cannot repeat from their past, because they're not looking at their past. They're not looking at their future. They're looking at that now, that sunrise, that sunset, the colors of life, the food that tastes so good. So does free will exist in a universe that is looping, or is it everything is predestined until we break free? Manifesting change within a loop of time. Breaking negative patterns, creating positive momentum in your loop changes everything. Because you're breaking free from a loop. You're breaking free from the norm. You're breaking free from doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. Introduce positivity. Introduce enthusiasm. You don't have to necessarily be positive, but be enthusiastic for change, enthusiastic for learning. Enthusiastically open your heart and open your mind for tomorrow. I don't know, living in the present moment as a way to transcend time and escape the loop. That is deep. That is real. That's us breaking the loop with our own energy, our own enthusiasm. Living now, enjoying and living and eating and breathing and loving now. That breaks the loop. I think it's really what you believe and what you do echoes. I mean, if you're in a loop, I mean, would you, and knowing it, would you live differently on purpose? Knowing you're in that loop and knowing you want to break it? You know, what you do echoes forever. But does it? Does it? Or does it just kind of go into the annals of history? Not necessarily echoing, but more of notes being taken on life. Our own notes, our own energy of learning. We are our own Akashic records, alpha states. We are the history in the libraries of Phoenicia, or the libraries of the hiding inside of the Great Sphinx. Who knows? There could be. Edward Casey says there is. I think, you know, I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing the energy that we possess. I think it's the energy that we give to a situation brings it to life. That's something a lot of us don't realize. A situation wouldn't be a situation if we didn't think about it. A situation wouldn't be a situation if we weren't starting to do some shit about it. I don't even know what the hell the situation is. I'm just saying, if you think that you're not bringing energy to the party or bringing energy to a plan of attack, well, if nobody's bringing shit to that plan of attack and nothing is happening, then obviously the energy that you're going to bring will change it. If nobody else is doing anything, you're doing something. I don't know if that's making sense right now. And it might not be. And that's okay. I don't care. Let me get back to making sense. That was a big hit. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna load the pipe. We're gonna still chit chat a little bit. Look at that, we got plenty of time. I say plenty of time because 2 hours is my cutoff. At the 2 hour mark, that's when, ooh, that smells nice. And it's starting to get so cold right now, but I'm sweating. In this room, I'm sweating. In the studio, storage, greenhouse. I think it's the greenhouse lights that make me sweat. And these glasses, they make me sweat. But it's so bright, I take them off. I'm like, I can do this. I can survive in here without the glasses because I can handle a little bit of bright. Anyways, thank you everyone for joining me again tonight. Thank you for coming from wherever you were coming from, Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn, and YouTube. This is the Sunday Smoke Sesh, now coming to you with some lo-fi music. Now coming to you with a little bit of a vibe. So if I do stop talking, you might hear some of the sweet sounds of I don't know who. It's kind of like a really cool elevator music. I mean, if I heard this shit in an elevator, I'd be getting down. People will be walking in the elevator. What the fuck is going on? I'm like, yo, shh. I could definitely tell I'm in a much better mood now. I think the sweating, it's cold, but I'm not cold. I think the sweating is because of the mushrooms. Every time I take mushrooms, even a little bit, even if I'm microdosing a really small amount of mushrooms, I sweat. It releases toxins from my body. It brings my mind to center. Not necessarily do I get high. It allows me to laugh. It allows me to breathe. I don't take very much. I mean, I've taken a lot before. I've taken very large amounts of mushrooms before, and I've gotten very, very high, and not even really high. I think the more, and I'll explain how mushrooms are funny, but with mushrooms, it wasn't about getting high. It opened up my mind, and it helped me think in a way that I guess I never allowed myself to think. I was very closed. I was very chauvinistic. I was very self-centered, just about me. It was, excuse me, the burp. But because of mushrooms, I think the biggest thing is that I wasn't the center of anything. I didn't even matter. Everybody matters. Everything matters. And my individual energy added to the amazing group energy, the everything energy. You could speak to somebody without talking, just by a smile. We forget to smile at each other. We forget to be happy about things. We hold our anger and our fear and our troubles in every conversation, in every stare, in every glance. We hold all of that inside of us, and we expel it to the world in our eyes and in our actions. I know that seems harsh, like that's what we're doing, but that's what we do. Because there's so much, we're carrying so much. Sometimes just letting go of it, that's what mushrooms help me do. I know it's still there, there's still shit in the world, but this is helping me realize that others need love, others need attention, others need guidance and help. I mean, especially in I don't know what's going on with this music right now. It's a whole drum thing happening. I don't know, it just helps me realize that there's other people, and other people really do need the attention and really do need the love. they really do need the guidance and community that cannabis helps to bring. That's what mushrooms help me with. Mushrooms help tell me that people need cannabis. Not everybody needs mushrooms though. But it does open up an emotional side that helps you see the world beyond just yourself. Maybe that's a way to summarize it. Okay, let me jump into this thing. Take a quick Tokilies and of the Puffco. I love the Puffco. Again, Puffco doesn't promote me, but I'd like to take concentrates, and I just loaded it with the last of my 6-star full melt. Woo! Let me see. I think this was like the roll-ups, which was flipping-licious it was. So it's the last of my roll-ups, 6-star full melt hash. Smoking it right now. All of it at one time. Wait, there wasn't that much left though. Still smells super fantastic, but I think I've loaded everything in there that I can. All right, here we go. 1, 2. There we go. On the proxy, it buzzed. When it buzzes again, it's ready for me to go. And I'm just going to sip it. I'm not hitting it hard. I'm sipping it like a fine wine. That to me makes the difference. I'm not going to blow my endocannabinoid system out the water. I'm going to let the cannabis assimilate itself, especially with the high THC, bonding to my cells, bonding to my body, to my receptors, and bring me to more of a homeostasis, all in one hit. I know that's a lot on one hit. I don't know if I told you that I buzzed, so I didn't want to waste any time. I just jumped right into it. Without the glasses, you get crazy eyes sometimes. That is delicious. Roll-ups, hash. Oh, yes. It just went out. So I'm going to put that down. That's one of those things I really can't get 2 sessions out of. I think 1 session's all I can get. But delicious. Absolutely delicious. Oh yeah, that's dark. Oh yeah. No, that's spent. And when I say dark and spent, this is what I mean. So I take a Q-tip, and this is why I love the Puffco Proxy. So easy to clean. While it's still hot, I just put it in there. I'm gonna rub it around just a little. Ooh, look how dark that is. So that is the spent hash. Once it's been burnt, whatever was not pulled through the unit back into the back part here, I get from the bowl. And bowl was so dirty from that full melt. The full melt leaves my proxy bowl very dirty. So even at the low temperature, it really just melts down to like nothing left. You can't smoke any part of that once you're done. So that is like still look how dirty. One big hit is going to require a second Q-tip, because, and you got to be quick, because if you do it too long, then pieces of linties from the Q-tip will maybe come off. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. You want to move quickly. You want to get all the remnants that are in there, because if not, then your bowl is going to get dirty. It's going to get very difficult to clean it. No, these things are very expensive, like ridiculously expensive. I had to save up, and I had to come up with a lot of excuses in order to be able to take one of these things on. But in that, I've enjoyed it, and I enjoy the entourage that it gives me more than I have from almost any other product on the market. I've used the Luca. The Luca was fine. It's just okay. Here's where my Luca messed up. My little seahorse. So it was great. I was smoking some shit. Worked beautifully. It was just great. Okay. Then you could take off the tip and you could put on a 510. It's a 510. So you could put on a vape. Where's my vapey? So I show you what a 510 is. Doesn't matter. I have no vapey in front of me. So you can vape from the Luca device. Problem was, and it was great, it would hit the cart harder than anything else could ever hit it. And it was beautiful. It was delicious. So then you go back to put your tip on, and the unit wouldn't work right anymore. So it's a switching between vaping and, rosin, of course, but vaping, regardless, a cartridge, and putting back and heating its device. It's just something messed up. So I went through 2 devices like that, made me upset, spent a lot of money on those, decided, okay, I got a great deal through a company I used to work for, like just unforgettable deal. And I got this. Ooh. Oh, it's the last of it. We're going to smoke it now. Okay. This is the Octane Runts. It's the last of the press. I want to cry a little bit. It's beautiful. Okay, I'm just going to show it to you like this. Look at that. There's so little in there. Just one itsy bitsy hit. Here, let's dig in. Let's grab that. This is just a really beautiful stuff. Octane Runts through Space Coast. See that? Okay. I'm just going to pop. I don't want to drop that. So I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to pop that right into it. Look how gorgeous. That's hash, by the way. That right there is like water hash or bubble hash. So right there, that product comes from, if you take the cannabis and the bud, the whole plant with the trichomes with all the beautiful shit on it, and you wash it, like you wash it with ice and water, alkaline water. Alkaline water is very important. Ionized alkaline water. Holy shit. That acts as the temporary fat. It's amazing. And the ice does as well. And the ice crystals. Anyways, okay. So ice, big chunks of ice, and really cold fucking water. And you wash that shit out of that cannabis. You shake it. You stir it. I'm stirring some shit right now, but I'm stirring it. So you stir it. And then when you're done, you take that mixture and you pour it through bags. Micron bags. The smaller, the bag gets, or the lower the bag gets, because maybe there's multiple bags or multiple levels that it has to go through. So each level that it has to go through, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So this would be some pretty small levels. Beautiful shit. Okay. Here we go. Wait, there's still a little bit left. I might as well. It's the end of it. I mean, there wasn't really much in there. Okay, there we go. Let's just get that in there. There you go. Go, go, go. Excuse me. Excellent. Okay. By the way, everybody, welcome. Highly motivated. Oren is loading a Puffco proxy with the last of his beautiful live rosin batter, the Octane Runts. Oh, very nice. And Oren is singing more than usual tonight. I am feeling more jovial at the moment. At the beginning of the show, I was not. An hour and a half ago, before the show started, I was in a rough place. I was no energy, emotionally drained, physically drained. And tonight's crazy energy is brought to you via the emergency mushrooms before the show. Had to do something. I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to do the show. I sat in the comfortable chair. It's uncomfortably comfortable because if you sit in it, you'll fall asleep. But then you wake up and be like in this weird position and be like, and that's what I was. I got up and I was disorientated. I was mentally just out of it. I'm like, what am I going to do? So I took the emergency mushroom bag or chocolate, microdosed, small amount, but just enough to make me realize Oren was still there. And the energy of Oren and the vibe of Oren was just waiting to come out. And so, boom. And then I see myself differently. I don't have pressure on myself. I don't have weight on expectations. I say, I'm just going to start the show. We're going to see what happens. And I'm pretty sure mushroom-induced Oren is probably going to pay a visit to everybody tonight. It takes me a while to get into the show. And right now I feel a really good vibe going. All throughout the 2-hour show, like if I'm going 2 hours on a show, all throughout that 2 hours, there's like 100 different topics I talk about. I've listened to myself sometimes and I've been like, wow, you can jump into the show at any time and never feel like you're missing anything because it's something new. It's something fresh. It's something like, I don't know what's going on. By the way, I was going to talk more about Tyson tonight, about him throwing the fight, and he needed the money enough to. I'm not going to even talk about him staining his career or staining the legacy or his legacy and his influence in the boxing, which could have been absolutely magical in teaching and energy beyond compare. But not the case. And instead, he took the route of money, this fight, and whatever. That's his decision, his choice. We're not going to talk about him tonight. My continued conversation this evening, while I smoked the last of this amazing press, I do have another joint over there, or part of a joint to light up, but I'm not happy with it. I don't want to light it up. It's just not, it's like, I'm not happy with it. I had a disagreement with it earlier. I put it down. I was like, I just don't want to smoke it. But that's what it was. And crazy as it seems, I think it's like a company of Mike Tyson. I don't like it. It left a bad taste in my mouth. And even it being all I have left over there, I mean, I've got more, but the bowl is almost cashed out. Not that I need it, but I want it. But again, I shouldn't want anything, and I really shouldn't need anything. So I'll just leave it be, and maybe some bud will come flying to me from somewhere. Actually, wait, do I have something hiding under here? Nope. I thought there was something hiding in the Orin Plus. If you don't know the Orin Plus, it's magical. It's going to take over the Alexa. Listen. All right. I'll tell you about the magical invention. You ready? The Orin Plus. You can't really see it in action without a thingy, but it needs a vape cartridge. But with a vape cartridge, you could place it anywhere and ask for a hit, and the Orin Plus will give you that hit. Okay. Right then. Let's go ahead and jumpies right into this thing. I'm very excited. And when I'm done smoking this, okay, I'm always talking about kindness. So tonight I wanted to talk about kindness versus niceness. Let's talk about something simple at the end of the show. Not so deep, not so life-changing, not so dramatic like time slips and time loops, like we did in the middle of the show. But that's serious stuff, and that's real stuff. And sometimes I really feel like it's happening. It's hard to understand the complexity of life. And then when you see loops in time or deja vu or inconsistencies, question it. Question everything. Everything. I mean everything. When you look at it, sometimes it's not what you think. Okay. I was grabbing my lighter and I'm holding it. I'm like, wait, that's not going to work. How does this thing work again? You know you are high when you forget how shit works. You know you're high when you're picking up lighters going, huh? Wait, what do I do with this? That's pretty high. So I'm putting the lighter down. Didn't mean I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to keep going. I'm doing this for you though. You don't have to smoke. I am doing this for you. That's how much I care. And for those of you that can't smoke, like there's countries that are watching me tonight, or people in different places, in different countries or places of the country, different countries and places around the world. Even here in the United States, there are places where you can't smoke. I am smoking for you. It's a struggle. It is a sacrifice. All right, I'm going to shut up and do it. Boom, boom. I pressed it twice. It buzzed. When it buzzes again, it's ready. I have it set on low. That way I taste it all. And I love the flavor. With this, I really can't smell any aroma. No, I'm gonna burn my nose when it's gonna get caught or something. Resin's gonna get on there or never get off. I'll be like, what's going on? Okay. I don't have time for a drink. And I'm trying to be healthier. No more soda. It buzzed. Here we go. Now, initially, I remember when I hit it at first, I'm extending the hit, by the way, the flavor develops. It's so smooth, though. I mean, it's like, you question sometimes if you put anything in there, and then you see the smoke. I'm glad it turned off. I didn't think it was ever going to turn off. Just clearing the chamber. The flavor of that press kind of develops. And the more I was smoking it, the stronger the terps became. And that was the octane runs. And I can, with everything that I've smoked this evening, I can't really give a fair assessment because there's a lot of different flavors now in my mouth. And I'm undergoing a lot of different entourages that are overlapping, much like time. See how I brought that shit all the way around? No, I still threw cannabis in there somewhere. People like, yeah, in a show like this, how is Oren going to get cannabis into the loopage of time? I just did. And that's what we did. Highly motivated. So, kindness, niceness. I'm always saying you don't have to be nice to be kind. So kindness it's not a weakness. Being kind doesn't mean you have to let people walk all over you. It's possible to be firm, assertive, and still act with kindness. See, these are simple things to follow. Niceness versus authenticity. So this has been a big one for me. Niceness is often about people pleasing or avoiding conflict, but kindness comes from a place of genuine care. You can set boundaries and still be kind. So niceness, I learned that you can't please everybody. I learned not everybody is going to like you, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try. And especially if you try hard, it's not going to happen. The universe doesn't work that way. You have to let go and let things kind of happen in their flow because there's a flow. Now, you don't get to see that flow all the time because that flow, it's hiding in the underbelly of life, in the underbelly of things and magic. You know, like magic, you don't see magic, but it's there and it's happening in the backdrops. And we have to let things happen. Let that magic become. Sure, you can poke magic occasionally, just so you can see what it does. So we're talking about niceness, and I don't want to people please. I'm not here to make everybody happy. I'm here to make me happy. I'm here to find me. And in that community that we're sharing right now, I find me. I find my authentic talk, my authentic moments. Most of my life, I wasn't authentic. I wasn't me because I was acting for so many different parties. I had to act like this for this party and act like that for that party. And when you act so many different ways, you're never you. And you're so confused. And when you have that alone moment, trying to know who you are, You're confused because all you've been doing is acting for everybody. When you stop giving a shit what they think, when you stop trying to please them and make them all happy, and you start looking at you, and you get more authentic about life and looking at what makes you happy, what makes you authentically laugh, authentically smile, authentically bring joy into your heart and your soul. That's the authenticity of life that we miss by acting for so many different people. Fuck them. Fuck them all. I know that's rough. I know that's harsh. I know that's big words. But maybe that's how we have to hear it. Maybe we have to be a little selfish emotionally and love yourself before you can love anybody else. Maybe we have to be almost selfish and say, hey, there's me, and I have to trust me and know me. It's not about making any of you happy. I can't change the world until I'm changed. I can't change the world until I'm happy, until I see things in a beautiful light. And then, and only then, that frequency I send out, that vibration that I send out will change space and time everywhere I go. Every situation, every gathering, every event, I'm gonna walk in the fucking door and I'm changing space and time. That's what I bring to the table. That is a lot. Holy hell. But it is. That's the mindset. That's the energy. That's the enthusiasm that I have for life. Because I know we create space and time around us. I know that our positive frequency changes the environment directly around us. And if we can change that environment around us, and as we leave it, that energy is still there. And if it's great energy, it's good energy, goes in great directions, that's going to change even more. That is going to spread even further. And maybe others spread it even further. That is changing the world around us. If we can change their energy, they change others, so on and so forth. Energy is contagious. Kindness is contagious. Goodness is contagious. When you're kind, it's real. It's you. It's what you want to be. It's just being kind, just being understanding, just being open. That's it. But you can set boundaries and still be kind. Open yourself more emotionally, more mentally. Understand that other people are going through a lot of shit. A lot of shit. The world is hard. Finances, responsibilities, jobs. We're approaching the hardest time of the year. Thanksgiving. Some people don't have families. Some people lost everything. The world is rough. And if you have something, you have everything. If you have love, you have everything. If you have family, you have everything. Money means nothing. It comes and goes. Possessions mean nothing. They come, they go. But your kindness is forever. Your emotional energy and goodness to the universe around you, that shit is forever. And that changes everything. Yes, you can give to charity, and you should. But if you can't afford to, bring good vibes. Bring good positivity. Bring the ability and the willingness to help, and the willingness to want to help. I don't think kindness requires you to change yourself. You don't have to change you to be kind. I mean, stay true to your personal energy. You know, you don't have to change your mood or your personality to extend kindness to people. I think that was something I had to get used to. I worked so hard to change my mood and my personality to please all the people around me. I wanted to please everybody. And when I stopped wanting to please people, the kindness changed. It became more real. You know, it became more true. Felt better. You know, it didn't feel like it was coming for something, or I'm doing it for something, or for attention, or or whatever, or to make people happy specifically. I did it to make me happy. I did it to make the soul happy, the real Oren happy. And it's, you know, it's an internal choice. Kindness is an internal choice, not a reaction to other people's behavior. That's a big one. That's hard for me sometimes, but that's where I'm learning. And I think that's where I love watching even the current change of me. It's, you still want to be kind. You still want to give love. But if somebody's a real motherfucker, sorry for the word, sorry, asshole, okay. Sons of a, okay. Farging Eishol. Okay, a farging Eishol. Yeah. So if somebody's a really farging Eishol, and you know, still show them kindness. You know, kill them with kindness. That's the way to do it. I think kindness is strength. You shouldn't be kind because you want a great reaction from somebody. You should just be kind to be kind. You should just do it to do it, not for anything coming back. But if you're doing it and you're sending out good frequency and good vibes into the universe, it's like the puddle you're standing in. You're standing in a puddle and you're sending out little ripples that turn into big waves. And those big waves turn into big change for some people somewhere. You're just sending it out there and you're just doing it to do it. It comes back. It's like I told you about manifestation. When you start manifesting, you're opening that third eye. You're opening up that pathway to receive. You have to be open to receive it. You have to be visually open to receive the gifts of life. You give, it gives. You give everything. It gives you everything. One day maybe you'll understand. You know. It takes strength to remain kind when people around you are just farging ice holes. When people dismiss you, when people are unkind and rude, it takes strength to stay kind. You don't have to be nice, but to stay kind. Because remember, they're going through shit. Remember, they're taking things out in you that are just their emotional outlash. It's not towards you even. It's just their emotional energy. Like I don't know if I was talking about it earlier, but we approach and we look at people with the anger that we carry. We look at people with the energy that we carry around. We talk to people and approach situations with the fear that we have inside of us. And it's not fair to who we're approaching or the situation we're prejudging. It's not fair. So that's why I'm always saying let shit go and just live in the now and approach that situation with the most open mind and open heart and of understanding that we are all dealing with some serious shit. Kindness, it's about maintaining your energy, not mirroring somebody's bad intentions, bad behavior, bad actions. Don't mirror their energy. It's about maintaining your super enthusiasm, super kindness, whatever you want to call it. It's like look, it's a fucking superpower, and you send it out. Look, I've walked in the rooms and the energy was terrible. I've walked in the rooms, I've dealt with medical assistants that were just farging ice holes, but they're going through a lot. And that was the thing. And they're dealing with rough customers or long hours of nothing happening and no phones ringing and shitty fake lighting, and they can't even see the beautiful sun outside in the heat of the day. They're going through a lot of shit in different situations, or sometimes they're overly busy. They don't even ever get to breathe. But the moods sometimes can be rough. So I've walked into places and brought nothing but kindness, even though the mood I got back was rough and the actions I got back mentally and verbally might have been rough, but I kept going And doing that, my frequency impacts others. You know, even if others can't immediately show kindness, your positive energy, it influences that situation, and it influences then. Now, when I leave, now that medical assistant, I left and we're laughing, we're joking, she's smiling. She's now bringing kindness to all the people she's dealing with. She's now bringing kindness to the rest of her day. And those people are now bringing kindness to the people around them. It becomes a chain reaction. And keep in mind, I might deal with 30 offices at max in a day. That's a lot. 20, 20, 25. On a busy day, 22, 25. It's crazy. That's a busy day. But if I deal with that many offices with my kind of energy and I'm busting in, I'm like, yes, love the day, love the energy. You're all doing amazing jobs. I mean, in that, those 20, 25 places are pumping out energy all around them. So yes, I think I'm changing the world around me like that, with that kind of energy, with that kind of kindness, with that kind of positivity. I don't know, just that kind of impact changes the people around you. That's deep. That's deep. It's the ripple effect of kindness. Your frequency impacts others. And kindness plants seeds. And over time, it can shift someone else's mood, somebody else's perspective. That's kindness. It takes time. And you just got to keep doing it, keep being true and authentic. People come over to the brighter side. And people love that brighter energy. They love that positivity because that's what we need. That's more of what life is needed. Kindness as a leadership quality. I mean, staying grounded and kind in difficult situations sets an example for others because you're being kind. No matter how hard things get, you're still rough, you're still tough. You're not going to take any shit, but you're going to be kind and understanding. That's what we need. We need strength, but we need kindness. Okay. I mean, your energy creates a space for healing, understanding, even transformation. See, that's a leader. A leader is kind. If a leader is kind at its base, then there's understanding, there's transformation, there's a space for healing, kindness. It brings so much. I don't know, protect your energy. That was what I did. Look, kindness doesn't mean saying yes to everything. Know when to say no, with compassion, with understanding, but know when to say no. Don't just say yes every single time. Protect your energy. I mean, don't let negativity or hostility change your attitude. Don't let it influence you. So many times, look, I deal with a lot of negativity sometimes. Am I going to let it influence me? I have. I've had days where certain things or certain people or just something would crawl under your skin. So I usually stop. I mean, the second I notice it changing me, the second I notice their energy or that bad energy following me or that bad energy transforming me in any kind of shape or way, I stop driving. I get out of the car. I take a few deep breaths. And I just kind of look around. That's it. Let go. Stop thinking. Stop trying. Stop putting weight on these other people. Stop creating an issue or a story, or stop creating a drama when there isn't one. Stop bringing energy to something where there isn't. Stop manifesting a situation, an energy, a thought, a process, something out into the universe that becomes something. Energy becomes physical. Thought becomes energy, becomes physical, becomes something where something might have not been. Earlier in the show, I said, don't put energy somewhere. I'm sure I said it. I'm sure I did. But I was like, don't put energy into something because it'll create, it becomes. I said something like that. I don't know. Far down the line now, our energy creates things. You put your energy towards something, it becomes into existence. As simple as that. Abracadabra. You speak it into existence. When you understand that by overthinking, you create a situation. By over questioning something into existence. Creating a situation where one was not before. I don't think I can make it any more simple. When you are putting your energy towards it, you are manifesting, creating, becoming. When you believe something, your conscious and subconscious worlds must align. When you believe something, it becomes reality. That is manifesting. The belief in something manifests it, good or bad. They like, I don't, you create the life that you have in front of you. So simple. Sometimes I overtalk it. I overthink it. I oversay it. I get lost in which word to say right. So the words that I say right now are everything. Lead by example. Be the powerful energy that you set forth in the universe in front of you. If you think bad thoughts, then bad thoughts are what you create in the universe around you. If you think positive, enthusiastic, kindness, if you send out energy that is beyond compare, that's the path. That's what creates the best things in life around you. Because the best things are not money, health, freedom of creativity and thought and desire, adventure, and the journey of life. I can't see much better than that. That's everything for me. That's just me. Everybody has a different path, has a different way. Lead by example. Show kindness, even in moments of tension. You know, it's not about changing others, but inspiring them through your actions, through the actions that you don't intend, but through those actions. I don't know. I think we change the world through our positive thought. We send out the words of wisdom into the universe around us with positive intention. We are manifesting a better tomorrow. We are manifesting a better right now. And you don't even realize it until you're in that now. Until you're in that moment of not you, but everything else. Highly motivated is not about getting high. It's about getting whole, getting real with community, being here, being present, just talking. And it's not always about the right things to say. But again, it's about being here and being in the now. So I appreciate every one of you. I appreciate the energy that you bring. I appreciate the kindness of you listening to me. And maybe you taking my energy and good ways, spreading it everywhere around you. So like the show, share the show. I'm not great at asking for people to like and share. I'm not like it, share it, talk about it, let people know about it. Let's get it out there. Yeah. No, I mean, God, that's like a lot. That's a lot. That's like, wow. No, do whatever you want. I don't give a shit. I don't care. That's it. It's so bright in here. If you want to share the show, you're going to share the show. That is Darkity dark. So I'm going to clean that out in a moment. If you want to share the show, you'll do it. You want to like it, you'll do it. You want to comment, you'll do it. It is what it is. There's no expectations, no tension, no pressure. I don't care. But in that, I have come to my 2-hour mark. And at my 2-hour mark, I'm letting you know that until next time, you can catch me Wednesday on the Wednesday smoke session, where I'll be smoking a doinkity doink doink, a zoinkity zoink zoink. So it'll be about doinks and zoinks on Wednesday smoke sesh. And then Friday, on the Friday night smoke sesh, 8 o'clock. Same place, same time. Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch. Those are the 4 places right now you can find me, that we come live at 8 o'clock, 3 times a week. And if you don't catch me live and you want to go back and hear some old episodes, or you want to read some great articles, or soon want to be able to purchase some incredible items, such as tea blends. Ooh, I get excited. I wasn't even supposed to say it yet, but it should be done by next week. Some incredible tea blends that you can add to your cannabis, just really groovy stuff. And that's going to be available next week on the site. As well as that, some really neat items and merchandise that are just fun. And it's highly motivated. That's what the show is. So if you miss it, come to Oregonji.com. Oregonji.com, you see it spelled at the bottom of the page, or you can scan this QR linky thingy right here in this corner. I'm like, ooh, so you see my wound? I have a wound. I was shoveling with a wood shovel, and as I shoveled with the wood shovel, I tore my finger or thumb. I was shoveling a lot. A massive shoveling project. A waterfall that I was creating out of the tiered area that I've got built right here in the front, facing the small pond. So I was digging, just and then I didn't realize and then I was bleeding. So then I'm bleeding onto the wood of the shovel. So now my blood has gone into this project, has gone in to this waterfall that I am digging. I probably should put alcohol on that. I should probably disinfect it. Come to think about it, who knows where that shovel was? I mean, pretty unclean environment now that I'm thinking about it. But I was bleeding and dirt was getting into it. So there was blood and there was dirt and there was just sand. And I was like, and I'm shoveling this direction and I'm shoveling that direction. And I'm looking at it, and then the wind caught and the dust came up. And then I had to take a few breaks because it was hot. Even though you feel like it's chilly outside, it's not. The sun still gets to you. You still got to stay hydrated. So I dug a good base portion, probably the 1/3 of the entire digging project is done. That's huge. Like, if you knew how much area I just dug, you would be like, that's a lot of digging to have dug. I'm like, I know, but I dig it. I'm so much happier that my mood has changed. Beginning show, I had nothing in me. I'm happy that we've made it. Not only have we made it 2 hours into the show, but the energy is not only sustained, it's totally different. I feel a better vibe inside of me. I feel a better step. Maybe sometimes I don't find the proper word and my body's like, who gives a shit if you don't find the proper word? It's not about that. It's about how you act. It's about how you show. It's about who you really are. It's just staying true to you and still being able to be compassionate. A great example is Andrew Dice Clay. Now, hear me out. He's a bit of a chauvinist. Okay. He's a very strong chauvinistic individual. But the other side of him, he's kind, like you wouldn't believe. He brings kindness and compassion everywhere, and an understanding that people would never know from just seeing the comedian. When you see the real individual, you see that he's so vulnerable, and he looks for the understanding or the authenticity of people, because that's what he brings, is his true authentic self all the time. He doesn't wear a mask. He is Andrew Dice Clay. He is the character. That's just him. He's not acting. That's the guy. So when you realize that he's not acting and he's not trying to be anybody else, he's not necessarily nice, but he is kind. So I think he's almost that perfect example. I know, maybe not. Maybe he is. Maybe like right off the bat there. Look at that. You saw how in vibe I was with myself? I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I was like, boom, boom, boom. Psh. Fuck, that felt right. Wow. I definitely feel better. I'm telling you, my vibe earlier was so off before the show. The show helps me. That's why I said I develop and I learn through the show. I channel a community energy when here on the show. So that's why I thank you all for coming. I appreciate the energies that you bring and the time that you spend. Even when I say I'm going to stop, I don't necessarily stop. I just go. You go until you go. You go until the button, until you press the thingy right there. Where I say I needed this, emotional energy is such an important thing. And your emotion controls everything you do. So if you're not feeling it, you don't do anything. And your emotional energy is what brings actual energy to the table. Your body holds mass amounts of energy. If you feel like you're exhausted, and if you feel like you've got nothing left, actually, you've got like 30% at your worst. Like when you're completely down and you feel like you have no energy and you're just totally out of it, you actually still have 30 to 35, 40% energy left. And so there's always something hiding there. And your emotional energy is what brings it out. Even when you feel you have nothing left. My emotional energy woke it all up. My emotional energy got my vibe back together. Well, it was the mushrooms. Let's be honest. The mushrooms and the cannabis combination. What a neat synergistic ride that keeps things very smooth. Brought my mood to a proper place, aligned me right where I needed to be to close out the week and begin the week at the same time. I'm pretty sure it's the music. But I think it's been a great vibe. But I hear things. I told you, the land I live on, 7 acres of spooky fun. And I've learned I'm not allowed to say the skinny of walkers. But we're pretty sure there's something, an entity on this land, or a few entities. I mean, I know the guy who walks the dog. I don't know him, but I've seen that one and I've heard the whistle. And then there's one that calls out to people. And then there's one that envelops and forms as a black mist into a cloaked figure, into an animal, a wolf, a bear that I saw, but unmistakable, something supernatural. It's pretty spooky sometimes. That's the fun of living on a couple of acres with really neighbors so far you can't see them. That's a great thing. But living next to a graveyard as well kind of leaves for some very spooky situations. Like on Halloween, where the veil is very thin between worlds. Or even coming up, we have the Friday the 13th, I don't know why those are necessarily symbolic. Again, dates and time, it's something we've constructed. It's a human construct. It's controllable and moldable in any kind of understanding. That's why earlier we were talking about space loops, time loops. That's why it was something I was thinking about earlier. Let me just, one last thing I want to say about kindness that I saw in my notes, and I just quickly wanted to say, it's not about expectation. It's not about expecting anything now or expecting anything at all. True kindness is because you want to do it. True kindness is because it makes you feel good authentically, makes you feel good inside for nothing, to get nothing back ever, ever. Don't expect anything back. Don't want anything back. Don't need anything back. And just give. Just be. Help where you can. And not for any specific reason, but just to help. Just to be kind. Just to be present and part of the now, of the universe, of the people, I don't know, of the everything. I want to say thank you again before I ramble off into something else. I've gone over. I know this is my cutoff. I tell you, I have to stop at like 2 hours. I have to, because if not, then I get maybe too spiritual, too into the power of you and the ability and the energy that you have to shape your world around you. But it's done with energy and positivity and just kindness. That's a magic trick. It's a magic trick. See, I'm giving you magic tricks. Abracadabra. Have a good night. I will see you again on Wednesday with updates, because by Wednesday, wow, we're going to have updates. We're going to have a lot going on. There's a lot of energy into this week. A lot of energy. Look at me. I'm like ants in my pants, yo. Ants in my pants. So it's all about doinks and zoinks on Wednesday. Doinks and zoinks on Wednesday. Some updates about products that will be available on the website on Wednesday. Big updates, big things, big happenings. And, that's it. Doinks and zoinks, updates about the website, updates about the week, because there's some big things. Remanifesting this week is going to be powerful. It's going to be a beginning for you, for me, for all of us. This week is going to be an adventure and nothing less. So enjoy the journey. I will see you Wednesday, right here, same time, same place, from all the different places that you come to me from here to see things. Just the same places and same, whatever. If you like it and you share it, then you're going to remember it from where it is. Like, bookmark it, save it. Like, look, if I don't bookmark and save stuff, I never find it again. And then I'm like, where was it? Who was it? What were they talking about? Absolutely nothing. That's the problem. So bookmark, save, share, do the whole spiel. All right. Be you. Be amazing. Be strong. Be powerful. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your journey, your adventure. That's what this week is. No matter what's happening, it's an adventure. And we are doing it. Yes. All right. That's it. Be awesome.